Okay, I'm already live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I'm supposed to go live at 7 p.m. And okay, got those in there. I don't know this setup. See what happens today here. Either that or I'm just my hat. I look weird with my hat on. Anyways, that's just the way it is. I'm gonna wait for a few. I want to welcome everybody from Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. See who joins me on this live solutions and answers live broadcast. No gambling zone. We're going to cripple gambling. We're going to cripple. What are we going to do here? We're going to cripple gambling. We're going to crush gambling. We're going to crush gambling. We're going to talk about how to destroy a gambling addiction. We're going to be here for about 30 minutes, a very, very quick broadcast. And we are going to discuss this topic of humans. We're pretty remarkable creatures. We can do some really remarkable things when we put our minds to it. Anyhow, welcome. Uh, Jim, hey, there's Jim. 521. Yeah, well, I'm not going to be around at 7 p.m., so we're doing the broadcast earlier. We're going to be doing it for about 30 minutes. Hey, welcome. Mark. And let me see, there's a few other people that came on, got destroyed by the lie again. Well, March 7, all forms. Yeah, let's talk about. I don't know if Jim wants to come on the camera later on. We're going to be here for about 30 minutes or so. We're not going to be here too long. But let me see. Again, we're broadcasting live via Facebook, LinkedIn, creating an environment for people to be able to come to on a Sunday and think and build their belief so that you can get away from the dark path of gambling, get out of that closet, get out of that dark water. Imagine swimming in a pool with dark water all around you and stuff, like gross things in the water. You don't want to be in that. You want to be out of there. Huh. That doesn't sound too appealing, does it? Swimming in a dirty water pool. But yet that's exactly what we do when it comes to gambling, and we get entangled. Let me see here. Okay. So shout out to Facebook, and I got a proverb for today too. I'm going to read that. Shout out to Facebook, shout out to LinkedIn, and to YouTube. I spilled my drink earlier. Yep, I did. Made a mess. Anyhow, the broadcast is, I don't know why it's coming out like this. It's kind of freezing up. Anyhow, one tip. There's 10 tips. Well, I'm not going to share them all, but what's interesting is I've been working on GABA, the Gambling Addictions Breakthrough Academy, and I kind of created that out of my own experience to help problem gamblers. And I did some research and I found that there's a lot of programs out there where they give you like 10 steps. I'm going to read a couple of steps here if I can find them on my phone, just one or two maybe. We'll talk a little bit about that. Very similar to what I'm doing. And it's just interesting. There's a couple of things that I do differently, though. from personal experience. So you don't find those things written out there. I kind of include those in my videos with GABA. Anyhow, I'm here to help guide you and show you that there's a way, and there's many others that are doing it also. Gambling is a lie. Okay, let me see here. So I'm so sad. You feel like there's no hope for me every time I try so hard and stop. Well, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. That says something about you. You know. Uh, you know. Let me. I want to read this, and I got a proverb. Let me see if I can find this because stopping gambling tips. Stopping problem gambling can be extremely difficult. Once stopped, the ongoing task is to stay stopped. The ex problem gamblers find it extremely difficult to engage in recreational gambling again, such as myself. For most problem gamblers, if not all, an abstinence based approach. That's the first time I've heard that. An abstinence based approach. That's interesting, though. Recovery is needed in order to enjoy a full and wholesome life. In order to maintain abstinence, it is crucial that an effective program of recovery is in place to prevent relapse. So, something I say all the time, you got to have a plan. You have to have some steps. You have to have an environment. Wow, this is really, really the screen is really what happened with the screen. I might end up just removing. Give me a minute here. Let me just take out the because is that a little better? Somehow, uh, okay, there we go. We're not going to do the background. That'll be a little bit better for today. So, oh, by the way, here's the proverb. I got to read the proverb for today here before the time goes by so quickly. 1821. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Are we, what are we doing to ourselves? Are we doing ourselves the most harm with the way that we're talking to ourselves? Is that where most of the damage is coming from? Is that the reason why we can't get away from problem gambling? Because it could be that our words are actually got us entangled. The way we're talking, it got into our thinking, and we've got this thing going on. Could that be what's going on here? Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You know, I think Jim's trying to come on. He was trying to come on. It's a sad state. I'm not sure if Jim's trying. It's a sad state of affairs when we don't recognize what we're doing to ourselves by our own mouth, by our own thinking, through just not being careful, not being aware of what we're doing. He'll try to come back on. It's like a cycle. And, I was just thinking about this today, how much damage that we do to ourselves simply, or just simply by listening to the wrong person. You listen to the wrong person, you listen to the wrong conversation, and you're worse off than you were before you even started. Does that make sense? Or am I speaking to myself here? Hey, Dynamic Boston, welcome. So I'm glad that you're here. Let's talk about this. So, Jim, we're talking about our potential. We're talking about uh, the addiction and what we're doing to ourselves. If we're not careful, we're actually creating our own life. We're creating our own environment. I'm not saying that that's happening 100% because there's a lot of other factors. There's environmental, there's a lot of things beyond our control. Obviously, there's things that we're not going to have any control over. What I'm talking about is what we could possibly have control over that we may not be aware of, and we're making it worse with our own words, with our own power phrases, maybe negative things that we're all of these things. And we're gambling and we're doing all these other things that are just interfering. Are we doing this to ourselves? Really? Are we really just doing it to ourselves?
Hi there, Santos. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, yeah, you're coming in there, Jim.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
So, you know, I think it really, really is important to kind of stop and figure out, what's going on. Step back, take a walk, get away from what what's happening in your life. Could be work, could be family, you know, that's causing there must be some type of stress trigger, right? Something's happening that's pushing a button that makes us go to these vices, right? These escapes. Something, right? I mean, stepping back, taking a walk. That's why I say, you know, I remember when I was in school, I had a frustrating day with my seventh period. And man, I just headed on over to the track and I took a long walk around the track,
Yeah.
to just cool off and just kind of think what the heck is going on, what's the problem, and just get away to figure out, what's going on. Something is not right. I mean, you know, the addictive traps, the gambling, the vices, those kinds of things,
Hi,
they have their
Natalie.
consequences.
Yeah. Keep
They have
sharing, Jim. Hi, Tony.
they have their consequences, and those consequences are like the snake that's going to bite you. And it's sad, if you really think about it. We're getting hit two ways, right?
What?
Something's messing us up in life, and that's moving us to the bad addictive behavior, which is also giving us another punch. You know what I mean? We're getting hit both ways. That sucks.
What happens when somebody gets stung? What happens when somebody gets bit by a serpent? What generally happens? Do they die immediately?
No, you're gonna get you're gonna start feeling symptoms, right? You're gonna start getting paralyzed. You're gonna start losing your abilities. You know, your thinking. You know, your physical senses messed up. So
It's it's a process. Sometimes it's a little faster, depending on the type of person that you are, right? If you're 350 pounds and you get bit by a serpent, you probably last longer than the person that's 120.
right,
In gambling in life, if you've got more, you may last a little bit longer down the road, but eventually it's going to bite you in the same way.
hmm
It's going to eventually get you in the same way it's going to get everybody else when it comes to an addiction that's out of control or gambling of that nature. Um, just like the snake bite, as you mentioned, it's and this the bite. In fact, some people get they're snake handlers that get bit and then they become immune to the bite. So it's like, are we becoming immune to the bite? by what we're saying and what we're thinking. If we're not careful, we can basically just live in we can live in a world like a hypnotic trance, and we can keep ourselves there by what we're saying and what we're listening to.
Yeah, we get used to it. We get used to the crap, you know, that we put ourselves in. It's nice and warm. Well, well, it's my crap. I'm gonna, it's my crap, and it's warm. You know, it surrounds me. It comforts me, even though it's crap, man. Even though it's crap, you get used to it. It's amazing how we kind of tolerate things. Our tolerance for garbage. We accept it. We accept it. It's getting worse and worse, but it's kind of like that frog in the water, right? That's the temperature is going up a little bit, little bit
The frog
until
in the pot,
right, right.
or is it in the butter, in the hot milk? Is it something?
Now the temperature of this is like what's happening to the frog. It doesn't feel the temperature going up a little bit. It's going up. The increasing. It's increasing, increasing. Right. It's getting hotter. Right. But eventually the frog is gonna get cooked. But the temperature is going up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Doesn't feel it, you know, until it's too late. Until it's too late. So
Yeah, we have it's until it's too late. And, like this is a great place to come here on Sundays for 30, 40 minutes. And at least I know this isn't going to be easy for some people just to come on here and say, hey, I got a major problem. I need support. I need, some counseling, or I need some coaching, or some folks are not going to do it. But if you're here, I congratulate you. I bow my whatever, take my hat off to you, because it takes a lot of courage for you to be here, and Jim too, thank you for being here, Jim, sharing all the way from Tucson, different time zone. But here's someone that, I mean, I gambling is a metaphor. Obviously, if we're gambling, if something is really messing us up really bad, there's got to be something underneath. And you talked about this earlier. There's something underneath that's causing that. Now, it could be environment, it could be another individual, but it could also be the way that we're talking, the way that we're thinking, and the way that we're listening or not listening. If you listen to other people's conversations, and you just listen to, there's a lot of brainwashing going on right now. I've never really realized how much of social media brainwashing is going on. I don't think it ever really hit me until recently, and I'm really kind of working on limiting my time also on social media. I kind of take my breaks from it because um, things can begin controlling your life. They can begin controlling your thoughts. These things, gadgets, people, experiences, and next to where it's not you anymore.
one of the things that I wrote down in the journal, they talk about it's not what uh, what happens in life, it's how you respond to it. And I kind of dug a little bit deeper, and I thought, maybe I need to, figure out how I'm responding to my thoughts. What's going in my, I see stuff happen like on social media, right? Whatever's happening in the world, interactions with people or events, and I'm thinking, what am I thinking? You know, what am I thinking? Am I getting angry? I'm getting afraid, you know, and how am I responding to those ideas? I remember, one of the ways to like deal with anxiety, depression, I heard about this is asking or telling yourself, I'm having the thought. If a stressful event comes in, I'm having a thought that I'm afraid or I'm getting angry or I'm stupid, or something negative, you know, and it gives you a little bit of space to think about, you know. It's like, where's this thought coming from, and how am I going to respond to this? You know, is this thought real? Is this real? Is what I'm seeing on social media real? Where is this coming from? You know, why is this being, you know, thrown at me? You know, and you start thinking, you know, and putting some space in between that stuff that's coming out at you. And you say, hang on for a second, you know, hang on, you know, you kind of stand your ground and say, you know what? No, no. You get a little, give yourself a little bit of room, you know, to say, wait a minute, you know, what's happening here? Seems like I'm being programmed. Seems like I'm seeing propaganda. I'm seeing like someone's trying to control me. Someone's trying to control my thoughts, you know, and maybe my own thoughts, you know, thoughts come in, you know, something
Yeah.
happens to me, right? Someone says something negative to me, right? Thoughts are going through my mind, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, well, wait a minute, you know, are these thoughts real? Is this the person I want to be? Is this the kind of person I want to be, uh, trying to be, thinking about the situation, responding to the situation, you know, giving yourself you know, that space to say, wait a minute, something doesn't seem right, you know?
Yeah. It's scary. Natalie, first of all, Natalie, welcome here. I want to acknowledge your question. Let me see. And Dynamic Boston, I appreciate your support. Thank you for rooting for the underdog. By the way, we're all the underdog. All of us are. So if you're rooting for me, you're rooting for yourself. I'm rooting for you too, because we're all part of the underdog. But um, you know, Natalie, you know, we everybody, we all have a reason for doing what we do. And the thing is, we have to just be really honest with ourselves and spend time to look at ourselves. If we don't do that, we're going to get confused. That's what's going to happen. We're going to begin to depend on other people. We'll depend. I mean, if we're not careful, we can become dependent on a program like this too. You know, oh, I go there like a Gamblers Anonymous type thing. I would never want that for anybody, because sure, this is a community. I'm going to be here. I'm doing it. It doesn't matter whether people follow me or whether people leave, whether my my YouTube channel fails or succeeds or it goes on longer. It doesn't matter because I'm determined to do it in my life. So for me, I'm going to go all the way. And if somebody wants to run with me, I'm going to show you how to do it. You can borrow some of my faith if you want. But other than that, I'm not playing games anymore because it's just not worth it. You know, we all have addictions. Every human being on this planet has addictions. Everybody here, we all have little addictions that we're dealing with. Some of us are overcoming, some of us are just not facing them. And you know what happens? You've spoken, you shared about not facing. You know, there's the consequences of these things. And my thing is, you got to have some kind of a plan. You have to have some kind of a plan. You have to have some kind of direction. You got to have something. If you're just like going around and, you know, trying to do whatever you can, maybe slip and slide a little bit here and there, then you're just going to set yourself up for a fall later on. But I'm glad that you're here. Let me see. I hear some noise in the background. Why is that? Is that mute? No. Okay. So, okay, I'm picking up Jim's background noise. Thank you. You know, I'm glad that you guys are here. I appreciate it that you guys are here. Jim, what do you say here? You know, whenever I have money, see, that's the thing. It's like that's the process of thinking. Whenever you have money, what is it? Dopamine's kicking in. That's what we're following. We've got all this dopamine drip. Uh, we're after these things, and the brain, if the brain doesn't understand what you're trying to do, it might think that you're trying to, you're going in the right direction. Your mind and your nervous system and everything about you is saying no, no, it's going to hurt to go in that direction, even though that's the right direction. Your brain is going to trick you and keep you in that dark spot. That's what the brain. That's why the brain. The brain. This isn't anything to really joke about, man, because the mind and the thoughts and all of these things really can work against you in a very profound way. What do you say, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, like, it seems like the body wants to find the path of least resistance. Does that make sense? I mean, like, we all want to go to the place where it's the easiest, the safest, the quickest, the fastest, best feelings, right? And drugs, alcohol, that dopamine hit of like the casino, you know. I mean, that's quick, right? That's quick. It feels good, right? I mean, that's quick, but you know, our mind has to understand the consequences of going to the negative things, because there are consequences, right? You keep on playing with snakes, you're going to get bit, right?
And the stakes are higher today. The stakes
Yeah.
are higher today.
It's tough, like everyone, you said, everyone's having some type of problem. Everyone's going through something, right? Everyone's going through something. Freaking life is tough, and in this world, right? If you think about it, there's so many opportunities and choices for people nowadays. So many choices. If you don't have any money but you need a car, no problem, easy terms. A house, 0% down, no problem. You need money for a student loan, no problem, we got you. So it's easy. I mean, you don't feel good, you want to feel happy, go get a drink, get some beer. No problem, so easy. And there's so many pitfalls and traps out there to get pulled into the negative places. So easy. I mean, it's kind of like a war. It's a war. There's so many people wanting your money, your attention, your anger, your fear. It's easier more than ever to get trapped, and we got to be aware of that. We got to be aware that we can fall into these traps that can just take us down the negative path. And unfortunately, some people are, kinesthetic. They actually have to go through the pain, the suffering to realize, I fucked up. This is no good. This is bad. I heard about this. They told me not to do this, but I did it anyway.
Yep.
And, unfortunately, sometimes you have to go through that pain in order to like kind of realize that this is no good. But I think that's the problem. One of the problems, I think, is that we kind of focus on the superficial stuff, like these addictions that we're going through, right? Whether it be the gambling, the alcohol, drugs, overeating, it's like, okay, yeah, I understand this is a problem, I should stop this is a bad problem, but what's causing that problem? And I think that's the root that we need to hit. And it's a double whammy, right? We're getting attacked in two ways. Something's pushing our buttons, and it's taking us to addictions, right?
Yeah.
The addictions give us problems, and that button pusher is causing our problems too. So solving one thing, it might not be enough. We have to kind of be aware. of everything that's affecting our lives.
Yeah. We have to create environment. There's a couple of tips I was reading earlier. I'm going to read this one here. This is one of there's like 10 tips on this program that I was reading. And it's just interesting because, again, I have my own take on these things for problem gamblers because of my own personal experience. And again, I am creating a program. I'm working on it. We're hoping to get it done. But here's live your life one day at a time. This means trying to forget about what happened yesterday, including your gambling losses. A desire to get even with the bookmakers or casinos will restrict your ability to focus on your recovery issues. Taking your life one day at a time also means not worrying about what tomorrow might hold for you in your life. Keep the focus on what you can do today. That will help your ongoing recovery. That's how I say it, day by day. Yeah, if you've got a week, congratulations on your week. Or if you've got 6 months or you've got a year, congratulations. But that's just a start. You still got to, if you're here another 5 years, now you've got 5 years ahead of you. Congratulate yourself on ongoing progress, not on progress that you've made, but on ongoing. Congratulate yourself. Find ways to do that, but take it day by day. That's one thing that helps me big time because when you start thinking about the past a little bit. Now, you can use your past. I'm not saying that you should just live like you're frozen in time because you go into your past and you go into your future, right? It's like commodities. And people that don't go into their past or in their future, they don't understand their own commodities. You have to do that, but you have to live one day at a time. You got to be focused on what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're hearing. How is somebody else making it? How is that lady? How is that lady over there winning against gambling? How is that lady doing it? What is she doing that maybe I can learn? Like they say, success leaves clues. And it's high stakes right now, man. If you're getting bit, we talked about the snake. We use that analogy. If you get bit by the serpent today, it's a higher damage. It's higher stakes. There's more loss. Your losses are greater today than they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Isn't that true? Our
Santos.
losses today, I mean, we don't recover like we used to. I know I that's why I don't gamble anymore. I just stay away from it. By the way,
Yeah.
welcome Drake Miller. You wanted to say something, Jim? You wanted to share?
Oh yeah. I mean, you're talking about the stakes are higher. I think about like I think about like drugs. Think of that. I hear this drug called fentanyl, right? Really awful stuff. Getting people addicted. I see people across the country getting like high on this stuff, addicted. Just a small amount can kill you, but it's so addictive. I mean, these evil people, are pushing, you know, more and more addictive drugs out there. These casinos are developing more and more methods and techniques to get people hooked. You know,
Yep.
the media is doing their best, infiltrating social media to get people afraid, brainwashed, you know, thinking a certain way. Man, we got to be aware of, it's a war. It's really a war. It's a battle zone,
Yeah.
man. And we got to
Yeah.
arm ourselves with, a good mind.
More than ever today. Especially now. I mean, it's so obvious with everything that's going on. Uh, I never thought that I never thought that I would ever say this, but I don't know a lot of what to believe anymore when it comes to the news. I never thought that I would actually say that. I used to think about that because I would hear other people saying that. You hear other people talking about, wow, the social media propaganda and, people are being brainwashed. But until it hits home, until you experience it and say, wow, wait a minute, this is real. And be warned, friends, guests, community members, be warned. You know, this gambling thing or whatever, if there's something else going on in your life, it doesn't have to be, you know, gambling could be a metaphor for something else. You could be driving a car with three bald tires and you don't see the wires sticking out of the tires because the wire bands are on the inside. You're driving a vehicle on the freeway, you're doing 60, 70, 80 miles an hour with three tires that have the bands on the inside, but you don't see them. Why don't you see them? Well, maybe you're just gambling with your vehicle, right? You're gambling with your life. You're not paying attention. We fall into things like this, women, and I'm not picking on women, but sadly it happens. We get comfortable and life becomes a gamble, and it could be anything. I mean, it could be the reason why you're going to the casino is because you're having a major problem in this other area. Well, it is. That's going to be it. It looks like Jim, I don't know if Jim was trying to get back on. So we're talking about crushing the addiction, and you know, if you're with me, hey, I'll help you. If you're with me, I mean, I'm offering my support. I'm offering my faith. I'm offering a program. I know we got the program started early today because I'm actually going to be doing some work at 7 p.m. So I won't be here. But we're here on Sundays every 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. We're here 30 to 45 minutes. We're doing videos during the week, and we've got a ton of videos on YouTube. We've got a couple of books that we've written. You know, I'm very grateful for a couple of books that we've been able to write. We're trying to promote these books. Nobody's getting rich off of this stuff, folks. I'm definitely not going to get rich. I would like to be able to make a living off of some of these books and stuff like that. I would love to see that happen, but anyhow, whatever comes in goes right out to charity. It really does, right? What's charity? Santos, all your money goes to charity? Well, think about it. The bill collectors, the Billy family, they're all part of the charity, the charitable contribution that we're giving to, right? All the time. But we did have the Little Red Book here. I'm going to recommend it. I believe it's been completed on Amazon. It's a good little tool. It's a little guide. It has a little plan. Um, you can hear my you'll hear my rambling voice through the pages, and it'll be a little tool that you can pick up and use when you want to use it to get yourself focused. So you know, we offer all of these tools. By the way, thank you for supporting. I see that you had supported here. Make sure Dynamic Boston. I truly appreciate you for doing that, supporting this. Um, Hopefully that's, you know, we're going to be coming off pretty soon here. I don't have much more time left, but Jim, you wanted to share something else before we get off here in a little bit?
Well, sometimes I think one of my problems is to blame. I remember learning in a college class a long time ago. There's blame and responsibility, and which one are you going to choose? And sometimes I think whatever's out there that I observe and my reaction to it is a reflection of myself and my thinking and my issues. If things are getting me mad, fearful, angry, scared, frustrated, I mean, whatever is happening to everyone out there. And, it forces me to look at myself, not really blame what's going on out there. I have to look at myself and figure out, what's going in here. what's happening with me? What do I need to fix? I can blame like the politicians. I can blame, you know, the media. I can blame,
Yeah.
you
It looks
know,
like,
circumstances. But
yeah, Jim. Let me see. Can you hear me, Jim?
really, I can't do too much about that. I mean, it's like, how am I reacting? Am I reacting or responding? That's important. So, kind of being mindful of what's happening to us is kind of like a reflection of ourselves. So we got to really life. I really can't control what's going on there, but I got to point the finger at the guy in the mirror.
Yeah, we have to look. And by the way, you know what? We're coming down to the wire
Yes.
here. We're going to be coming down to a close pretty soon. Um, Thanks for hanging out, Jim. That's for sure. I want to mention that ahead of time.
Are you there?
Um, yeah, can you hear me? Am I coming through? Let me see. I think Jim's breaking up. No will to live or carry on. I have more money to go back, but that place is hopeless. I keep losing and losing. It's impossible. It's rigged. Yes, it's rigged, and the odds and the advantages are totally against you. Drake, my recommendation would be to stay close to this community here. Get yourself a book. Spend whatever, I don't know, it's $15 or whatever it is. Spend a few dollars on this tool. It's a $15, 20, whatever it is. I don't It might be less than that. It's a little bit of an investment, and it'll get you, you can keep it with you. In fact, you can always buy two copies. Have one in your car, keep one inside your place. You pick it up, you read it, let the words, that some of the thoughts that I have, kind of get into uh, your your daily activity and challenge you. Because if you don't have anything to challenge you there, it's nothing's going to change. And we all need a challenge. We're all looking for challenges. I was thinking about this earlier this week, that why do we even gamble? Right? Some of us gamble. Well, we gamble because there's a reason. There's something behind the gamble. Something is driving us, but it's also a risk. We're taking a risk, right? It's a challenge. It's the unknown. It's kind of scary. It's the what if and all of that. And then, also there's money in there. So you've got all of these. It's like you've got all of these adrenaline. You've got all of this dopamine rush just going to your mind over and over and over. And then what happens? The money runs out, right? Insufficient funds. You can't get any more loans. People are not, they're calling you. Hey, where's my money? You owed me. You said you were going to pay me. You said. And then they're angry with you and stuff like that. That kind of stuff begins to set in. That dopamine isn't feeling too good. We're here to help. I'm here to help. I'm here to support. I'm not just here to help. I don't even like that word. Honestly, I don't like the word help. I'd rather support you. I'd rather help you get lifted and stay permanently in a place where you may not love life, but you're enjoying life. You're enjoying it a little bit more because you're saving your money, right? And who knows, maybe you gave a donation to this mission for supporting you, or you bought a book, or you're able to pay your bills, your mortgage. You're able to start connecting with people, right? Now you're keeping you made a phone call with a family member or maybe a child that you've been kind of wronged with. Now you're keeping your appointments. Now you're doing the right things. You see, you're getting into the cycle. You're getting into the cycle. All right. You hang around here, it'll happen. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. I'm not the only one that's completely free. You know, Jim is free also. I'm sure if he even ever had any temptations to gamble, being on this broadcast and listening to what we have to say, I'm sure he'll stay far away from it. But we all gamble to some degree. It's better to be smart. Listen, if you're going to gamble, I would highly recommend get super smart. Don't be dumb about it. Don't be ignorant. Okay. Ignorance is not a bliss. I don't recommend gambling. I'm against gambling, but if you're going to gamble and you're going to try to win, the only advice that I have for you is to get smart, because you're going to need a lot of wisdom to outsmart that system that's out there, that's rigged against you. It's going to take your money out of your wallet, right? You're going to walk up to the machine. You're going to put your $100 bill or your $50 bill in there very easily, very smoothly. You can see it, right? Right out of your purse, right out of your pocket, wallet, whatever. You're going to slip that 20 in there, and it's going to keep taking it from you. It's going to keep taking it very easily. And then you're going to reach in your pocket. There's going to be nothing there. That's cold. All right, my friends, I have to get going. We'll be live again on Sunday. You're welcome to join us. You can get on the camera. Also, Sundays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to LinkedIn. Shout out to YouTube. We've been broadcasting live via 3 satellite stations here, so I'm kind of grateful for that. We do have an email. We provide an email a couple times during the week to stay in contact. Right there, you can see it there scrolling on the screen. That is an email contact. It's called SciTech. Stay in touch. Email communications. If you have a question, you want to reach out to me, you want me to reach out to you, you're welcome to do that right below. And again, YouTube, we've got the videos. We've got a Facebook group that we're doing. Let me see the Facebook. Well, I do my best on Facebook. There are not a lot of people there, a small group. Hopefully it'll grow. And again, I'm just planting seeds wherever I can and letting people know that, hey, you don't have to suffer with problem gambling. There's a way out. I'm doing it. Many others are doing it. And why couldn't you do it? Why couldn't you do it? Right? I'm what, about 100, maybe 150 pounds. I'm 5'4", not a very big person, brown skin, brown eyes. Sometimes my hair, it comes out good. Sometimes it doesn't. I like to work out. And sometimes I get scrapes and I injure myself and I make mistakes and I have bad habits. So I'm a human being. But I got myself free. Why couldn't you do it? Why can't you do it? Right? There's no excuses, really. There isn't. And I'm not here to judge you on the other side. I never want you to feel judgment, because I know what it's like to lose a lot of money. I know it's like to lose thousands of dollars. I know what it's like to lose time. I know what it's like to feel. I know what it's like to feel so desperate that you want to go and basically take your life. Okay. I've been there. I know what it's like, where you just, the thought comes to you like a bird flying in the air. You could get rid of all your situations by doing this one thing, right? Nope, you wouldn't have any more, no more phone calls, no more people, right? You got to be careful with those kinds of thoughts. I've been there, and it'll lead you there if you're not careful and you continue to gamble with problems. That's what will happen. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. Yes, we can. Jim, Race, Drake, STJ. There you go. Thank you for hanging out with us, with me here. And who else? There was Race. You hang in there, man. All right. Thank you for your support. Emily, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Dynamic Boston, I appreciate your support. Thank you very kindly. And Ewa, there was a couple of other people that were on that didn't come on the screen. Thank you, Ewa. You guys are the real soldiers. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Thank you for being a part of this. And Natalie, thank you, Natalie. Appreciate your support there. And from moment to moment, life changes. Appreciate you very kindly, Tony. Keep coming back, Mark. We missed Laura. We missed many people. I don't know, Scott Pelt. A lot of people are probably gambling, sadly. And I just have to be honest with you guys. I hate to say it like it is, but people go back. Scott Pelt. Yeah, I mean, we can't. No, Troy. There we go. Troy, thank you for hanging out with us. I'm not, it's not going to happen. Not with me, not on my watch, man. All right, my friends, until my next one, peace through strength. I salute you. I'll see you at the top on the inside on my very next one. Making every day super fantastic, terrific, and over the top in spite of and because of. Remember, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. The opposite is also true.